If anybody here is a Raiders fan, you're going to know the Raiders defense the last couple of years has absolutely sucked. What is going on, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football back at it again. Happy Tuesday. Again, hey, this could be a regular thing, okay? So if you're not used to Tuesdays, just get used to it, all right? For everybody who's never been here before, this is Jake with Master of Football. All things pro football, college football, video game football, anything related to American football we discuss on this show right now, baby. Please, 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 emphasis on the please. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like it. Please share it. Please do anything like that. Comment on it. Anything that drives engagement, I very much appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Again, back at it, okay? Raider Tuesday. All right, I know, Raider fan, okay? Got to show my respect. I love everything about football, but I had to give my boys their own special day. So after the week is done, again, games are done for sure by Monday. We talk about it on Tuesday. It is Raider Tuesday. So getting on with that. So Monday night comes out, the previous Monday night, played the Baltimore Ravens. It was an absolutely crazy game, okay? Back and forth. Raiders are going to win. Raiders were going to lose. Raiders were going to blow it. Raiders came back and won. It was absolutely nuts. So, short week. They were played on Monday. Now they have to play Sunday on the road, have to go to Pittsburgh. And let's go ahead and check out our notebook to read what's going on here. So, Raiders visiting Pittsburgh on a short week with a banged-up offensive line. Denzel Good, their starting right guard, out with a torn ACL in week 1. And it was the early window, so a West Coast team playing in that early window on the East Coast. Their bodies aren't used to being up that early. And then the Steelers were a 6.5-point favorite heading into the game. So let's see what happened. Boom, final score, Raiders 26, Steelers 17. So we see here that the Steelers had a lead at one point where they were up 7-6. The Raiders, again, got a couple field goals in there. But you check it out here and see what kind of happened. So the narrative of this game was neither team could really run the ball, and neither team's offensive line was having a particularly good day. Trey Turner, the starting guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers, got kicked out of the game for spitting in a Raiders' face. And again, I don't know what happened. I'm just saying that's what I saw. And that's what was reported. But Ben Roethlisberger finished with 295, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, was sacked 2 times, only lost 3 yards, was hit several times, though, took up some big shots. Derek Carr finished with 380 and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, was sacked twice. Should have had a lost fumble, but John Simpson, the right guard, after not being able to finish the block, was able to come in and collect that ball. So the Raiders, you see, the Raiders had 25 carries for 52 yards, and the Steelers had 14 carries for 39 yards, ran a respective 2.1 yards and 2.8 yards per team. So awesome there. But you see the receiving stats were much better. Deontay Johnson, 9 catches for 105, did get hurt at the very last play of the game. Henry Ruggs had a couple different plays there, but had 1 catch, 61 yards for the touchdown. Big plays. So, got my notebook here. So, the game recap, nobody could run the ball. It was absolutely just, both offensive lines were having issues. Najee Harris was brought in to help bolster that run game. However, you still need people to block up front, and they just were having an issue with that. The Raiders' defensive line did a good job, but at the same time, the Steelers' defensive line, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, they had themselves a field day too. The Raiders' offensive line has been having some troubles. We will get to that later on in this video. But we want to go ahead and talk about the Raiders. And again, this is a Raiders themed video, so we want to talk about it real quick. What's different for the Raiders? So, and again, all things pointed to them coming out and losing this game, having a very, very emotional roller coaster game on Monday night. They have a short week, heavy favorites, and they come out and win. And they win in rather controlling style. So the passing game by the Raiders was very, very dominant. I think there's a couple of different things you can see here. The first thing that I want to identify is the number one defensive end in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, is Max Crosby, and the number one cornerback in the NFL right now, according to Pro Football Focus, is Casey Hayward, both Raiders. Now, if anybody here is a Raiders fan, you're going to know the Raiders defense the last couple of years has absolutely sucked. They haven't had a star on their team since Khalil Mack, and just obviously they traded him away. I know everybody talks about that one. But it's just been, their defense has just been the inability to kind of do things, the inability to put pressure on the quarterback, inability to force turnovers, anything like that. Casey Hayward comes in, signed over from the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, it's going to be so hard for me to break that. Former Gus Bradley player, and then Max Crosby was a third-round pick. Last year, before he played in the 2020 season, he didn't really have an off-season because he was checked into rehab. This year, full off-season, and he looks freakishly good right now. The next thing I want to talk about is Derek Carr. So Derek Carr has made some progressions here. So I want to go ahead and talk about what I feel like he's done and added to his game. He's always been efficient at the short passing game, and he's kind of been a little too efficient at the short passing game. Any Raiders fan would know Derek Carr a couple years ago, for the last couple of years, maybe a little too quick to check it down, maybe a little too safe, worried about his offensive line, worried about getting hit. So he just kind of checks it down and kind of gets rid of the play. So does that. In 2020, he was able to add something to his game that really, really exploited the defenses and actually added a big aspect to his game. Let's see one play here, a touchdown against the Miami Dolphins last season.
As many times as he normally does. Carr pumps once, pumps again, extends the play. Derek Carr in that bad going, lofted up for Aguilar, makes the adjustment and the move. The veteran Aguilar weaving his way. He will go. Touchdown Raiders. 85 yards of brilliance from Nelson Aguilar.
Anyone who knows anything about Raiders games is Derek Carr doesn't do that in 2019. Okay, in 2020, he was. I think that John Gruden came out and he was like, "Yo, dude, you need to extend some plays." Similar to how basketball players will come out and they can, like, LeBron James was a very good dunker, he's a very good slasher, but they were like, "Yo, if you want to take your game to the next level, you need to develop a jump shot, you need to develop a set shot, things like that." So Derek Carr, obviously, still even at the wily old age of 29, 30, is adding things to his game. So that was 2020. What he added to his game was the ability to extend a play, be able to get a guy downfield, launch it, and make plays. Patrick Mahomes is dynamite at that. I mean, obviously, you got Tyreek, man, just throw it. He's down there somewhere, okay? But he was able to do that. There's another thing that he was able to add this season that I've seen in 2 games that I really like from him. Let's see 2 examples from the Baltimore Ravens game, and then we're going to see 1 example from the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Let's check that out real quick.
It upset me last night, too. 3rd and 10. Carr lofts one, and it's Ruggs. He's got it.
So on that play right there, you were able to see that Derek Carr kind of floated back a little bit and then kind of threw it off his back foot in kind of an off-platform throw. He didn't really have his feet set very well, but he was able to get the ball down the field to an open receiver. So what I think he's been doing is been working on that. Yo, here's the deal. You're going to have to learn to throw from multiple different platforms. You're not always going to have your feet perfectly set, not always going to be able to get that kind of stuff going. And again, you see it on the final play of the game as well.
Can't lose any yards here. Going to throw. Drake picked up the pressure. All alone is Zay Jones, and he will prance into the...
Right there again, okay? Didn't have his feet set. The guy was wide open. You got to get it to him. Just turn and just huck that baby downfield. So he's been able to add that. Now, you even saw that against the Steelers. I'm going to show you on this play right here. Everybody remembers this play.
4 guys to try and get him down in the backfield. 3rd down and 10. Airing it out. Carr. It is caught. Henry Ruggs is gone. Touchdown, Raiders.
On that play right there, that was nuts. His feet were almost square down the field. Now, again, you're supposed to have your feet pointed towards the sideline, and then you take your step and you throw. He would, like, turned and hucked it. His feet were not even set. But again, what he's adding to his game is the pocket's not always going to be clean, okay? And again, alluding to something we're going to talk about later on in this video, the pocket is not going to be clean. You're not always going to have the ability to have the nice, beautiful step in the throw. So you're going to have to be able to make do with what you've got, even if it means throwing the ball 57 yards downfield to a streaking Henry Ruggs for a touchdown. So that's a big aspect of Derek Carr's game that wasn't there in 2020, wasn't there in 2019, that he's adding it now in 2021, his ability to make off-platform throws with accuracy down the field. Okay, back to the notebook here. So causes for concern. Now, again, we talk about this in week 1. So the Raiders had the issue with just being able to establish the running game, and week 2, it didn't get any better. So the cause for concern is right tackle Alex Leatherwood, who went out of this game and was taken over by Brandon Parker. So far, through 2 games, he is 74th out of 74 in qualifying tackles. According to Pro Football Focus, John Simpson, the guard, is 65th out of 68, so he's 4th worst in Pro Football Focus. And Andre James is 31 out of 33, so he's 3rd worst in terms. So they have the last place tackle, a 4th worst placed guard, and the 3rd worst placed center. So not exactly doing a very good job, and they really can't run the ball. So Josh Jacobs was out of this game, and unfortunately, they just didn't have the ability to establish the running game. Had Peyton Barber in the game for a little bit, but their running game was the short passing game. That was how they really moved the ball, and that's the reason why they had, almost 380 passing, was because they had to have 380 passing. So this next week, they have a full week of rest. They will play at home. They will play the Miami Dolphins, who just got off of a very rough game against the Buffalo Bills. And Tua Tagovailoa I'm not 100% sure if he's going to play. He was injured, so it's either him or it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. But the Raiders 2-0, 2-0 against the spread for this week for all you betting fans out there. So they're off to a good start, and they have a home game against a team with a roughed-up quarterback at least. Now the Dolphins are a very good roster, so it's, who knows, maybe it's the NFL. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Hey, what do you guys think is the most impressive or unimpressive part of the Raiders 2-0 start that they have? Let me know in the comments. Get after it, and let's get going. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, share, anything like that. I very much appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. I am out.